I can't believe that I casually tapped the power button on the power strip, shutting down all the electronics on the first stream back in the new apartment. Whoops. Maybe given the much better internet, do I make a project out of trying to splice two interrupted VODs together? Anyway, where were we? Brian developed cocaine by accident in his effort to create an opium curing drug, which cures the opium addiction. Credit where credit is due. But given that Brian was studying under Watson Bell, a Western pharmaceutical giant who has interest in the further exploitation of the Chinese market, I think perhaps that the Bells murdered Brian to get at his cocaine formula, to develop an even more potent drug to get people hooked on. There's also the mystery of notes that Sung Tao had. Was it Sung Tao? Yeah, Sung Tao had a note hidden away that had a formula attached. We were thinking that he was trying to reverse engineer Cola Cola. Cola water? The cola water? All the way back here! The... Oh... The autosave didn't autosave enough. That's okay. We'll just swing right back through here. I can't blame Comcast for the internet disconnection this time. I can't blame Onyx for pushing the power strip button. This time it was my own middle toe what did it. Maybe I'll switch to one of my other power strips that doesn't have as easy a button to accidentally toe up.
当年的月，为什么你从小什么？你是哥哥，就是月色。是，我与他这本早，我没毕竟说。 先生，那是一种哥哥从他想用，很遗，恰恰相，但他最终从。
Okay, now we're caught up to the point where I kicked my poor power strip. No, not that. Okay.
所以，哥哥所做的一切，都是为了把这些资料托付给你。
Trusted the cocaine formula to the Western pharmacist with continued exploitative markets in China, whose son of the pharmacist is a legal representative of the very skewed, what should be a hybrid court, but becomes more and more Western focused and Western preferential.
我越听越糊涂了。如果伯安先生只是想把资料交给贝先生的话，为什么会自尽呢？
他这么做是为了……
约瑟，这件事
就由我来说明吧。
老贝尔，你知道当年的事？
Where?
伯安的研究项目是我资助的。
Yeah, he was funding the cocaine project.
3
He's
年
not just
前的
gonna let
悲
that go
剧
away.
我一直惋惜至今。来人，快给贝尔爵士搬一把椅子。
Well, the rest of us are all standing up, and Bell gets to sit.
最初约瑟介绍我认识伯安时，他的研究受到了沙逊家族打压。
沙逊家族，那个靠鸦片生意发家的犹太财阀。
I do worry about this angle, because while, according to... Where is it? Facts or knowledge? According to their own research, Sassoon family import large quantity of cotton textiles and open to China. So that could be historically true. But it's very dangerous to steer into, oh, the Jews did it type conspiracies, you know? Jewish tycoon prospered from the opium trade.
没错，当时的伯安经历了很多困难，几乎要被迫退学。我抱着试一试的心态，赞助了他一些资金。没想到，他很快取得了成果。在正式合作1年后，他就成功研制出了第一版药物。
The opium
可惜，
sensation being a
在临
stronger
床实
drug.
验中，药物出现了成瘾性高的问题。一位患者私自大量服药后，极度亢奋，最后心律紊乱而死。这让伯安非常内疚，并陷入了深深的迷茫。在后续的研究中，伯安不断尝试减少高可碱在药物中的比例。
Now, one could argue that perhaps the answer to curing a drug isn't more drugs. But it can be helpful for weaning. Like, you try to get somebody off heroin by cold turking them. They're going to become they're gonna suffer a lot, right? But if you give them smaller doses, like even legally, it can kind of help take them off of it by like easing their body from being used to a higher dose to being accustomed to increasingly lower doses so their body doesn't try to kill them when it doesn't have it. Hey Gaius. You're scared of change, but this is good change. If you mean the new apartment kind of thing, it's fantastic change, because while the property management company and the property itself are kind of dingy and shady, and I suspect highly predatory, I get to live with the man I love, so it's very, very positive change for me.
确实配置出了弗洛伊德书中所说的，能够消除疲劳、
Eliminating
提高情绪
fatigue,
的试剂。
uplifting mood. This sounds like he's just gone for a different drug entirely then, from cocaine to something else.
然而，在长期观察下
From
受药者
cocaine
还是表现出了药物滥用和成瘾的倾向。
From cocaine to a reagent that decreases fatigue and uplifts mood. The cola water is basically like a proto Coca-Cola, right? Did my brother invent Coca-Cola? The Coca in the Coca-Cola being from back when they did put a little bit of the cocaine into it.
不久后，悲剧再
Does
次
this mean the
发生
cola water is actually my brother's legacy, and thus we should be receiving royalties for everything that the Watson Cola Company has been making?
另一位患者偷服药物，产生了强烈幻觉，
点燃了所在医院。那场大火成了压垮伯安精神的最后一根稻草。伯安之所以用极端的方式将资料交给约瑟，是想让约瑟阻止戒烟药的研发工作继续下去。
Halted the
但事实上，
development.
他完全可以找到我，
He did.
把他的诉求直接告诉我。
He had a meeting with him that day. He had a meeting with him that day. If Brian was that desperate to have Watson Bell cease development of the opium sensation drug, he wouldn't have needed that kind of desperate measure. He literally spoke to him that day and left in an agitated state. I think this man, this Western pharmaceutical giant, did not want to halt the development of this addictive drug. I think he was quite happy to have something new on the market, especially since he could probably read the writing on the wall and knew that it was only a matter of time before the International Opium Commission or something similar to it would have limited or halted the production and trade of opium.
难怪3年前，沃森大药房停止了所有的戒烟药业务。
这样的事有瞒着我的必要吗？
伯安一心研究戒烟药，却反而制出了毒品。
Wanting to keep this information away from darling little brother is pretty fantastical to buy. You don't do all this just to keep information away from little darling brother. This is his conspiracy, with him as the enforcement.
所以他才不希望你知道这件事。
我们已经在沈先生的私事上浪费了太多时间。
No, we
现
haven't
在
got
既
a
然
good
事
2 more
实
hours
已经
left in
明
this
了
case.
应该将关注点移回当下的案子。
沈先生，你还打算继续追究
Bygones be bygones, no!
不，我不认为那是真相。哥哥引咎自尽，并不能解释这一事实的存在。
The existence of this fact. Okay, so we're going to have to rethink certain pieces of evidence with the knowledge that, yeah, perhaps Brian did kill himself. Maybe he was poisoned beforehand. I don't think that if he is the one who plunged the dagger into its sheath, that he did it merely out of a desire to break from the pain of the poison. I'm also not too confident that all this was because he super trusted Joseph and wanted Joseph to find the research. Maybe he arranged it the way he did because only Joseph would have known the details of the book that Brian tried to publish in the Wu Ancestral Hall, or about the Wu Ancestral Hall incident. Extraction method of cocaine, addictive and harmful nature, paper written in English, written by Song Tao, who knew Brian in life and is now dead. Was this recent research that Song Tao wrote? Or research from back in his days in London? Probably back in his days in London, given that in Shanghai he works in the foreign goods store. took his own life out of guilt doesn't explain the existence of this fact. The fact that somebody was monitoring the house, monitoring Brian, then why? Unburnt scraps of paper, illegible writing. Maybe what we assumed was actually the paper lantern apparatus was really something else then. Maybe it was certain evidences that were being destroyed. The whole apparatus then, with using the key and everything else to loop the wax cylinder, to loop the Morse code reel on the end of the phonograph to feed the key into his hand isn't necessary then if he just locked himself in, sat down in the chair and died. The existence of this fact. What telegraphs do they have? Homicide occurred. We don't look at the other ones? He had other telegrams that went out. But I guess it's the only one that's necessary right now. Critical importance of stringent fire safety measures and supervised inspection of heating equipment. They've already mentioned the deadly St. Mary Hospital fire. Watson was pretty forthcoming about that. Brian took his own life out of guilt. Doesn't explain the evidence of this fact. What evidence would be sus with this? The fact that Song Tao was researching what was likely the poison? The music
引
ceased.
咎自尽，解释不了哥哥尸体的脚弓反张现象。我询问过的仵作都说，这是马钱子中毒的典型症状。
但不按尸体的湿地凝检测呈阴性，反区应该是其他原因引起的。
不，更可能的情况是，他中了布鲁生之毒。这
Are
篇
the
论文
only
显示，
ones with
除了湿
access
地
to
凝，
or knowledge of
马钱子
Lucy
还能提炼出名为布鲁生的药物。
would have been Song Tao or others working in development of new drugs. Or whose research group? Watson's?
它与湿地凝的药效相近，但毒性更弱，中毒反应更慢，更不易察觉。
竟然还有这样的药物！
Don't act like you
哥
don't
哥
know.
自尽，绝不是出于什么心理问题，而是意识到自己身中剧毒后的无奈之举。
那你认为下毒的人是？
毒害我哥哥的凶手，同样也是雇佣丁香杀害吴松涛之人。他是。
Do I get to finger him now? Oh, it's brought back the scrolling menu. Does that mean I get to have a joke answer at the end? It's been so long since we had a joke answer. Is Gaunt gonna be the joke answer for this one? Because it gave us quite elaborate game overs for blaming the chicken and blaming the dog. No, it doesn't give an elaborate game over for blaming the
我需要
pig.
再思考下。
Man, we only get the elaborate joke game overs at the
同样
start.
也是雇佣丁香。
Alright. It was Joseph. Joseph or Watson. Either one is compelling. I really don't want to let go of Joseph as either the conspirator or one deeply involved in the plot. Like, even if it was Papa Watson, who had the greatest motives and means to commission the murder. Come on. Joseph is his son, working with the police, the first one on the scene, with the ability to cover up whatever evidence that he wants, steer the autopsy whatever direction he wants, took off with a book, made evidence disappear that had the cocaine formula in it. There's no way Joseph isn't involved. Joseph is absolutely involved. But the top conspirator with the greatest need and means would have to be Watson. It was his pharmaceutical development that all this was for. He was commissioning Brian to do all the research that he was doing. He wouldn't have quit with the direction of the research if it wasn't for a very public fire and the death of 20 patients in the experiments. Whether or not this made him resent Brian for the public scandal, he wanted that formula. He wanted a highly addictive drug that he could sell to the Chinese and abroad.
线索都指向了同一个人，贝尔爵士。你就是这两起案件的罪魁祸首。
The mastermind, but let me finger Joseph still.
Watson?
He's literally a J Iscariot. That can't be just coincidental.
贝尔爵士杀人吗？
正是。
Tom, 是什么让你
In the same way that
这不是
the police sergeant might have been the killer of the previous one, or was deeply involved, wasn't directly the killer, but was deeply involved. This is more than a one-man operation.
我敢肯定，他就是把布鲁生的提炼方法卖给了你。
合情合理的联想。
Old Bell, aren't you planning to defend yourself against such accusations?
A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
When the judge is trying to help the new defendant, be like, come on, man, let me give you some hints. Help yourself out here. Don't you want to help yourself out? He speaks in English. Does he think that we can't hear him colluding with the defense?
John, you are just temporarily blinded by hatred. I believe time will provide the answers, and he will gradually understand my perspective.
沈先生，法庭不接受无端的指控。你坚称贝尔爵士毒害了你的哥哥，有证据吗？
我哥哥的死亡时间在3年前8月15日下午2点到2点28分。他的尸体被发现时，呈脚弓反张状，面部表情扭曲而诡异，而衣角上血迹斑斑的抓痕则表明，他刚经历了难以想象的痛苦。显然，哥哥在临死前已经出现了毒发后期的症状，而布鲁生的摄入者大多会在4到5小时内死亡。考虑到时间因素，这份证据表明，贝尔爵士有杀人嫌疑。
This evidence suggests, considering the timeline, this evidence suggests Bell is a murder suspect. Proceed at 2:05 p.m. Homicide occurred. We're assuming now that Brian sent this out himself. And then 15 minutes later, the police arrive. Someone was monitoring her house and informed Brian. Considering timeline, this evidence, Mr. Bell is a suspect. So, what links these three thoughts? Timeline related? The evidence suggested? Instead of Westminster Station, he made sure that Kensington responded. Solely so Joseph Bell would respond? Does Bell Pharmaceuticals fall under Westminster and didn't want their cops in? We already know all the details of the autopsy. I doubt that's going to help right now. Maybe it is as simple as a telegram. Considering the timeline, the telegram went out because he was already poisoned directly after his meeting. No, he's shaking his
这件
head.
任务我需要重新考虑到时间因素，这份证据便
Bloodstained scratches on the chair legs, unimaginable pain. Symptoms of late-stage brucine poisoning before his death. Leads to death within 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours might be what I have to consider more than.
贝尔爵士有杀人嫌疑。
46 minutes long. Oh wait, no. The paper reel is where you get the previous telegrams. Adjusted medication, effective in small trials, congratulations. Now we know that's about the cocaine. Not your fault, no need to blame yourself. Drug development, challenging path, keep going. Success awaits, optimism needed, assistance opportunities is positive. Office meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. office meeting. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. And his time of death was what? Around 2:28? Okay. So 9 a.m. would have fallen within that window then. So I was on the right track looking at the anonymous telegram. I forgot that all the rest of the telegrams were hidden in here.
这些电报就是证据。
沈先生，我不明白，这些看上去都只是寻常的交流而已，如何能证明贝尔爵士下了毒呢？
到底是哪封电报说明贝尔爵士有
Which
罪？
telegram specifically? I am so glad you asked.
正如贝尔爵士自己所言，时间会给出答案。8月15日上午9点，哥哥去了贝尔爵士的办公室。下午2点前后，他出现了脚弓反张的症状，两者的间隔正好是5个小时。
In the eyes of a bigot, my guilt is presumed. Innocence a mere shadow.
Oh, of course he has to make it a race
Joseph,
thing, huh?
why don't you try talking to John and persuading him?
I bring out the evidence. I bring out the literal receipts. I bring out the timestamps. And he says, "Oh, it's bigotry. They just don't like they just don't like Western entrepreneurs bringing Protestant work ethic to this lazy and barbarous land." What you got to say, Joseph?
事实上，这份证据并没有足够的证明力。周，你自己刚才也说了，从中毒到死亡的时间是4到5个小时。在上午9点到10点这段时间里，波安还接触过许多其他人。
你和琼斯警官调查过他的所有行程，也询问过每个见过他的人。你比谁都清楚。 那天除了在贝尔爵士处喝过咖啡，他没吃任何东西。
Party on that day.
At 9 a.m. that morning, I had arranged to meet Brian for coffee to talk his recent conditions.
很遗憾，已知的目击证人 无法覆盖整段时间。我们也很难确认波安是否曾在家中摄入过食物或水。
And so what? Those unknowns mean that we can't lean on the one suspect we do have that fits the bill.
还真是个好托词。即便食物或水里真的被人下了药，现在也不好查证了。
此案甚是复杂，还需深入查证。贝尔爵士，事后烦请您屈尊去巡捕房说明一下情况，不知是否方便？
If it's not convenient, we'll get the
约
cops
瑟
to
已
do
经提
it.
出了一个合理
Hey,
怀疑
Onyx.，
在这个疑问解开之前，我不认为有必要给贝尔爵士添麻烦。
贺大人提醒的是，沈先生，你还有证据能回应贝尔检察长的质疑吗？
Could we use the fact that he was being followed?
先生陷入了苦战。可心姐，我们得想想办法。
3年前的案子我不太了解，不过在贝尔爵士最开始的发言中，我注意到一处不自然的地方。
There's a contradiction I could point out.
那就赶紧提出来吧。
虽然我不知道贺大人所说的合理怀疑能否成立，但我忍不住好奇，为什么贝尔爵士要在之前的发言中撒谎呢？
Big accusation you're making.
不知我的哪句话让文小姐误会了？
哪有这么多误会？你说的话明明与这件证物存在矛盾。
This evidence. Okay,
起
what do you
初
say?，
伯安的研究遭到沙逊家族阻挠，我出于尝试的心态资助了他。正式合作后，他顺利研制出了第一版药物，可惜药物的成瘾性过高，
Seems correct so
有
far.
患者因私自大量服药亢奋致死，让伯安陷入了深深的迷茫。他改良了药的配方，但受药者还是表现出了药物滥用和成瘾的倾向。一位受药者因幻觉引发医院火灾，
Broke Ryan's
这
mental
是压垮
state.
伯安精神的最后一根稻草。
There was a fire. We could look at details. It did involve research by the Watson Group. Conducted in small trials, not your fault, no need to blame yourself. Or challenging path, keep going. Either could be about 20 deaths at the hospital.
伯安用极端方式将资料交给约瑟，是想让约瑟阻止戒烟药的研发。
Trusted Joseph to stop developing the drug by killing himself. I can only use evidence for this one. I can't look at people's. So maybe the very fact. Understand concerns, office meeting tomorrow 9 a.m. He was going to talk with the head honcho of the Watson Group himself. He was going to talk to his research funding benefactor. He wouldn't have needed to kill himself. The very fact. Understand concerns, office meeting tomorrow. That was him going to tell him, I'm sorry, I'm out. We can't keep doing this. Hence why Watson poisoned him and had his son retrieve his notes with the formula. He can't see the contradiction. It's written in plain English that he had concerns and they're going to meet that day. That was them talking. That was them talking. He didn't have to kill himself for it yet.
伯安用极端方式将资料交给约瑟。
Okay, what else have we got? A homicide occurred. Is that it? That can't be it. Whoa, Onyx! You're knocking things over, baby. You wanna walk? You wanna walk that way, Onyx? Let me move chat to the side then. You just want to sit in front of me, Onyx? You want your pets? Oh, you needy baby. Come over here, Onyx. It's a good thing cats don't have bones. Let me take this collar off of you, though, so you don't accidentally dox me, okay, Onyx? Do you know what evidence we could use, Onyx, to contradict the statement that my deceased brother trusted Joseph to stop developing the drug by killing himself dramatically? Do you know what the answer is, Onyx? You don't know what the answer is, you just want to be pretty on camera. Onyx, I'm never going to finger my brother's killer if you keep being so cute and making me pet you. Another benefit of moving into the new apartment isn't just that I get to live with the man I love, but I also get to live with his cat, who is super affectionate and super needy. I wake up in the morning and he's laying next to me. I lay in bed lounging around and he makes biscuits on my back and then falls asleep on my legs. You gonna sit there now, Onyx? Just don't knock all this stuff over, please. Don't knock over my tablet and my cups. You okay there? Okay. You just keep looking out that window then, Onyx. Okay. Okay. Looking for a lie or contradiction. And so far, everything seems hunky-dory. Research under the suppression of the Sassoons feels kind of like an early 20th century version of blaming Soros for things. But he's admitting to funding the research. New opium cessation drug, highly addictive, that tracks so far. Arrhythmia, Brian feeling guilty tracks so far. Improving the drug. Still showing drug abuse and addiction. Fire is a final straw. Out of all these statements, I think the only one that could be considered a lie is killing himself as a message to Joseph to cease developing the drug. What do I have that can contradict that? The missing book is Brian's notes that include both his manuscript that he wrote way back when and the cocaine formula. There is also a very dramatic ink splash that goes all the way across the books. Makes one wonder why. Worked on croquet. Is there something in the semi-cursive English here that is a lie then? That maybe one of the experiment subjects did not die from arrhythmia because arrhythmia is not a possibility. Progressively becoming a critical public health concern. Keywords, cocaine alkaloids, synthesis methods, utilization persists. Pivotal in comprehending its nature, synthesis of cocaine alkaloid involves intricate chemical reactions. What about the effects of it? There's no arrow to turn page, so this is all I get. Illegal means of extraction and utilization persist. The refining methods of cocaine alkaloid and its addictive nature and harmful effects. Maybe that's it. Maybe at the most basic is that he wasn't studying cocaine as a cure. Maybe he was studying the cocaine that the Watson group was currently using and observing that it's actually more harmful than they're letting on. Because this sounds a lot. This isn't talking at all about the benefits in this. This is talking about escalating misuse, critical public health concern. This paper aims to comprehensively explore the synthesis methods of cocaine alkaloid, its addictive nature, the association risk to human health and society, enhance awareness and advocate for measures to restrict cocaine alkaloid use, safeguarding public health and societal welfare. Brian never wanted cocaine to be the anti-opium then. Which means Joseph was lying. Joseph was the one that sold us on the idea that Brian was studying cocaine as a way to take people off of opium. This research right here is that there are ways to extract cocaine, but holy shit guys, this is awful. Create a new opium cessation drug, highly addictive. Try to improve the drug. Hold on. Adjusted medication proven effective in small trials. Congratulations. Maybe he was trying to advocate for smaller doses because holy shit guys, this thing's pretty awful and addictive. Not your fault when you blame yourself. This makes it sound as if... As is, it does sound as if he was one doing the development. Keep going, success awaits, often is needed. Was Brian actually... Research report on cocaine written by Brian Shen. Extraction method, as well as addictive and harmful nature. It doesn't look as if he was pro using cocaine. It sounds like he was very anti-cocaine. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's not that he killed himself to try to stop Joseph from developing the drug, but he tried to stop the development of the drug by trying to publish the fact that it's highly addictive. He can't see the contradictions? I think I'm on the right path there. I think I got the right logic. I just see the right opening.
让我再想。
Maybe it's this then. It says he's trying to improve the drug. And this suggests the opposite. Okay, let me get my death counter out. I had it out, but then accidentally kicked the power switch. Because we're getting our first game over in the new apartment. 20 death now.
官看不出矛盾之处，这两者。
让我再
沈先生，由于缺少必
Onyx,
要的
your
证
butt
据，
is blocking the lack
你
of
对
what?
贝
The
尔
lack
爵
of
士
what,
的指
Onyx?
控不能成立。
关大人，再给我一次机会吧。
既然贺大人已经做了决定，
Little the Chinese judge can
本
do
官
in
也
his
无
own
能为
court.
力。
The corruption in this system.
我知道你们兄弟情深，也很理解你现在的心情。然而，在波安殒命前的很长一段时间里，他的精神状态都很糟糕。他的日记也显示出了自杀倾向。
这是一条绝路，
The torn
一切都
pages.
毫无意义，毫无意义。什么？
节哀吧，你已经找到真相了。
Almost succeeded. Didn't catch the mastermind. Singh and Tingsang arrested. One escapes, the other released. Well, how about I give myself the first bathroom break in the new apartment, and then, with a fresh mind and a fresh bladder, we'll see if we can't find that contradiction. Okay, round two. Didn't leave us any Muzak. The Muzak was the feeling of guilt for failing
起
to
初，
put this
伯恩
guy
的研究遭到沙
into
逊家
what?
族阻挠。
Into I don't know.
我出于尝试的
So let's see. Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
伯恩
Fire in the hospital final straw. Trusted Joseph to stop developing the drug by killing himself. Joseph's a cop though. Joseph wasn't doing development, he was. Tendencies for his drug abuse and addiction. Patient took a large dose, succumbed to arrhythmia. Brian felt guilty and became lost. Maybe the fact that the game over showed us torn pages from the book might have been a hint. Ink stains on its spine. Not sure when it was taken away. Paper ash on the body. Unburned scraps of paper with illegible writing. We can't pull that out now. August 16th report. Caught fire last night. So 15th would have been the hospital burning. If one of these had dates. I can't remember when my brother died. I don't keep track of that sort of thing. 15th August. Weapon pierced the artery. 16th August. 15th August. 15th August, my brother dies. 16th August. That fire was last night. He died in the early afternoon, and then the fire happened. Oh, it's as simple as that then. I was so fixated on the fact that the details of what my brother was writing in his research didn't seem very positive for cocaine. It seemed very wary of it, very warning about it rather than trying to improve it. But it's even more simple. The fire wasn't until he was already dead. The fire became the final straw. So, what's it going to be? The date of the fire being after the murder, or the date of the murder being before the fire? Either one could work.
贝尔爵士，之前你提到的火灾是发生在圣玛丽医院吗？
Alright, gotta auto after game over again.
我想是的。
这就怪了。火灾明明发生在8月15日晚上，也就是伯安先生去世后，为何你却说他压垮了伯安先生的精神呢？还是说，伯安先生其实从没想过放弃生命，而所谓的自杀倾向，根本就是你编造的谎话？
看来，随着岁月的流逝，连记忆都开始与我捉迷藏了。
You clearly said it was a final
贝
straw
尔
for
爵
Brian.
士只是记错了时间，不构成不实陈述。文小姐的观点与议题无关，驳回。
贺大人，事关沈仲平兄长自尽的原因，怎会？
一个人记错了时间，就等同于他下毒了吗？
这
His entire point.
沈先生，关于下
His
毒
entire
之指
point
控
was that the fire pushed Brian over the edge. No fire, Brian's not pushed over the edge.
暂时没有。
既然没有，我只能驳回你的请求。
He's going ... He's gonna toss us a bone. No.
即便3年前的案件缺乏证据，
He's got the drums going.
还有证据表明，贝尔爵士与吴松涛一案有关。
Stone Wu case not done yet?
阿福，我确信，贝尔爵士不仅毒害了我哥哥，也是谋杀吴松涛的幕后黑手。这2起案件之间存在更深的关联。你对吴松涛案更熟，帮我一起找线索吧。
Do we get one more investigation phase? Inventory switch to the okay.
清楚。
Which means now we have. No, we still have the cocaine formula. Fish scale, rice grains, theater photo. What else do we have? The paper written in English. Investigation permit. Right, the ratio for the cola water. C17, H21, NO4. So the cola water does have cocaine in it. I think perhaps that is why Sung Tao was murdered. Either he figured out the cocaine formula. No. Cocaine's been known by then. He figured out that there is cocaine in the cola water, and that's why people love it. But the cola water is kind of a guarded secret because that's the Watson Group's bread and butter. What did I say? The Western pharmaceutical giant read the writing on the wall and knew that opium was on the way out, and he found another addictive product. Cocaine, not as a drug to replace opium, because that's going to be too blatant, but as sodas. He invented sodas to keep people addicted and keep the Chinese market open for his profits. And Sung Tao reverse engineered it. He figured it out.
出示表明贝尔爵士与吴松涛一案有关联的证据。
Evidence that shows connection between Mr. Bell and the Sung Tao case. I said it right there, didn't I?
其实，证据一直都在辛格巡长手中。
我没有，你不要害我。
Sergeant Singh, that they had repeatedly tried to ransack the foreign goods store.
是先生从吴松涛书房里带走的。我在机缘巧合下发现，他的相框中还夹着一张纸条：1000克水，200克蔗糖，100克干冰，4.8克柠檬酸，1.3克肉桂。我没猜错的话，这张纸条便是沃森集团遗失的快乐水配方，也是你一直在奉命寻找的东西。
怎么会这样？
And why he took an entire safe as evidence.
这个配方并非沃森集团所有。
是不是你们的配方其实很好鉴定，只需……
这不符合证据标准，驳回。
You would say that, Judge
我
Herman.
还什么都没说啊！
既然配方是在吴松涛的书房中发现的，就应该默认它归属于吴松涛。
If we just made blind assumptions like this, we'd never solve any
有明确的
cases.
反证。
This blatant, clear collusion, but we can't do anything.
应该有证据能证明，这个配方与贝尔爵士有关。
There should be evidence between. Okay, it's the cocaine. It's gotta be the cocaine. That's
只
his
要仔细看配
thumbprint.
方的内容，就会发现，汽水的成分中含有高科碱。
高科碱是伯安先生研发的一种新药，只在他的笔记中提到过。 可以说，这种药物的化学结构是几乎无人知晓的，只有全程参与药物研发的贝尔爵士和持有笔记的贝先生除外，而他们都与沃森集团有关。
Joseph is finally being pulled in for culpability.
我哥哥
The
的笔记中
Western
明
judge
确
can't
提到
debate this for long.
高科碱具有极强的成瘾性，即使剂量再小也不例外。这才是沃森牌快乐水成功的真相，也是贝尔爵士杀人灭口的根本动机。
这倒是个有趣的猜想。
你们的说法依旧无法解释，为什么沃森集团的汽水配方会出现在吴松涛的书房中？
There's a phantom that
沃森集团
stole
的汽水配方
that stole the
被护上
formula.
密克索道，这是人尽皆知的新闻。
I wanted to believe that Sung Tao was just brilliant enough to reverse
巡
engineer
捕
it,
房曾
but I
明确表
guess
示，
could have
护上密
benefited
克
off the
与
phantom.
吴松涛往来密切，因此，吴松涛持有护上密克索道之配方，是合乎情理的推测。
Herman, it's the first time I've seen someone leave you speechless.
Thanks to you, as always.
看来我还是有必要说明一下，配方不可能属于沃森
Like
集团的
cannot
理
belong
由。
to the Watson group.
这
There's
也
gonna
是
be lies in
快
his
乐水
testimony.
真正的秘密。不过，我需要一个更
Private
私密的
environment,
环
huh?
境。
What's wrong with the public
出于
trial?
保护沃森集团商业秘密的必要性，本案转为非公开审理，请无关人员到法庭外的大厅等候。
贝尔爵士，请说明配方不可能属于沃森集团的理由。快乐水真正的秘密是，根本就不存在什么秘密配方，
No secret
这只
formula?
是一种营销策略而已。
营销策略，
Where's his
你们真
proof?
以为一个产品能取得如此巨大的成功，靠的仅仅是配
That's
方
what makes
吗
it？taste different from everything else.
靠的是品牌和叙事。神奇饮料的绝密配方，藏在价值连城的保险柜
And price
中，
was safe.
多么令人着迷的故事！
Next, he's gonna
谁
say
能
that
按耐住
KFC's
一盘
11 herbs and
究竟的
spices aren't
心情
real.
不去尝上一口，以满足自己的好奇心呢？
不对，不该是这样。
沈先生，这件事你的直觉是什么？
直觉告诉我，如果绝密配方只是个营销噱头，就绝无对外承认配方被盗的必要，那会将产品拉下神坛。
Good point, Shen.
我也这么认为。据我所知，沃森集团曾在巡捕房设立高额奖金，悬赏沪上密克的线索。
Then let's have you guys
他们
explain
应
all
该
this
是
to
真
the
的
judge
在找
for me
配方。
then.
我这就向两位大人说明情况。
Yes, thank you.
不急，
Come
这
on,
个
let
主
her
张
rush.
虽然足以说服关大人，但贺大人依旧会用各种理由驳回。更麻烦的是，我们手头并不掌握贝尔爵士买凶杀人的确凿证据。
这贺大人满嘴程序正义，实际上只挑选对贝尔爵士有利的规则，指望他做出公正裁决是不可能的，除非贝尔爵士自己承认。
So,
也许
we
这
could
就是眼
rehire
下
that
最好的
assassin.
办法。
你是说，让他自己承认？这可能吗？
贝尔爵士显然很重视这份配方，不然也不会为了他杀人。一个人在意的东西，往往会成为他的软肋。
沈先生似乎变得有些不一样了。
贝尔爵士，我再确认一下，所谓沃森集团被盗走的秘密配方其实并不存在，对吗？
的确是这样。
二位大人，看来是我弄错了。 既然相框中的这份配方与沃森集团无关，那想必是我哥哥的遗物了。
何以见得？
高科检的化学结构没有公开过，吴松涛不可能知道呀。再借用一下刚才贺大人的逻辑，配方是在伯安先生的照片中发现的，就应该默认它属于伯安先生。这么理解没问题吧？
你们
Expecting him to admit to flawed logic? Nah.
配方是沈先生哥哥的遗物，沈先生有处置权，想怎么用是他的自由。贝尔爵士为何如此关心呢？
其实告诉贝尔爵士也无妨。我打算
Destroy the formula, make it public. I think nah. We make his proprietary formula public. And why would he care? It's not his formula, right? So it's no skin off his back.
我打算拜托文小姐来处置配方。
交给谁是你的自由。
有贝尔爵士这句话就好。我听说，郑和、广和、伊利三家汽水厂都对快乐水的配方很有兴趣。苏州的瑞记正在积极拓展南洋业务，
No.
也可以聊合
It's
作。
not just disclosing the formula, but disclosing it to Chinese
大家
rivals.
集团的颐和洋行，虽说他们是您的股东，但考虑到汽水行业丰厚的利润，想必也不会拒绝。对了，我还打算在沪报上发2篇文章，标题都想好了。侦探追查沪上密客时发现快乐水配方，沃森集团极力否认快乐水中含有新型鸦片。
你们可要想好了，污蔑的后果。
Liable.
你们承
But he's
担得起
denying
吗
that there's opium in it.
配方是我家
Is he saying he
亲手
doesn't deny
想
that?
给谁就给谁，怎么了？
Later, Apu, later.
Old Bell, how about you double check one more time? If the formula belongs to the Watson Group, I'll order them not to disclose it.
Blatant collusion. And if it doesn't belong to him, in fact, then suddenly he gains intellectual property rights to it.
都有重大嫌疑。如果否认，我们便有权公开配方。这2杯毒酒，你终归要喝一杯下去。
更何况，你根本没法解释，为什么只有你知道的高科碱会出现在这个配方里。
He's sweating bullets. I bet he would love a nice cold cola water right
配
about
方是
now.
沃森集团的商业秘密，你们无权公
So
开
you。do admit to it. Father, you're ruining our conspiracy. Just keep your mouth
文小
shut.
姐，沈先生，配方是沃森集团的财产，
You coming back out
你
on
们
Mix?
不得随意处置。
早说嘛！
Just gonna sit over there, Onyx?
请贝尔爵士去巡捕房协助调查。
贝尔爵士不是罪犯
Not,
他哪
but
里
he's a
都不用去
suspect. Onyx, I can't read over your butt.
从目前的情况看，吴松涛之死多半与那快乐水配方有关。
Grow your balls, Judge Quan.
贝尔爵士虽然尚未被定罪，但的确有重大嫌疑在身。协助调查乃必要流程，望贺大人配合。
贵国之司法流程野蛮粗暴，漠视人权。
Of course he'd go that
贝尔爵
direction.
士作为大英帝国公民，他的尊严
His
必须要得到
dignity
保障。在没有确凿证据的情况下，我认为他没必要接受任何调查。
The international politics in this. You have him on the ropes, Judge. Push harder, push harder. That's a reminder line.
先生，这也太过分了！
Bell is
我们
going
没
to
有能
leave
力
the
锤定
country
英
on
证
the
据
first boat out.
他会这么说，不算意外。
这就是个死结啊！ 现在能用的证据都已经用遍了，又不让贝尔爵士接受调查。
Man, I bet even if we had solid evidence right about now. Where is it under? Is it under facts? I'm pretty sure it mentions that if the case involves foreign nationals, then it falls under the foreign judges in the foreign court. And so even then there should be nothing we can do about it. Mixed court? Both Chinese and foreign officials more concerned about the safeguard of their respective interests. Let's see. Where was it then? Regulations on the mixed court. In practice, frequent issues of foreign staff encroaching on legal rights, and Shanghai Consular Corps repeatedly demanding amendments to the regulations to expand their powers. Forcibly interfering in purely Chinese case, but this isn't purely Chinese, this is a mixed one. So I'm not too surprised.
证据会从天上掉下来吗？
Will it?
这个人或许会是案件最后的突破口。
This person to provide the final breakthrough? We have options now. Joseph, I'm sure, is the enforcing arm of Daddy. And while Brian might have erroneously believed him to be his best friend, there's no way that Jay Iscariot is not involved at the deepest level. Little Cecilia likes to talk. She's too innocent to fully understand that Papa's conspiracies and Grandpa's conspiracies aren't supposed to be known to the outside world. She's already provided us good evidence against people's alibis before. Sergeant Singh is also officially an enforcing arm. Joseph, I sus big time. Singh's already been confirmed. Yeah, Jay Iscariot. His name is literally Joseph Iscariot Bell. He was also the first officer on the scene to my brother's murder, and was the one to perform the initial autopsy, and has admitted freely to taking a book from the scene of the crime that had the cocaine formula because, well, your brother didn't want you to know he was developing a stronger opium. So he's in deep. He is absolutely in deep. We could also ask the assassin. I feel like asking the assassin is akin to asking the police sergeant. They both should have good deeds. The assassin was directly commissioned to murder Sung Tao. Why? Singh was commissioned to ransack the store several times and to try to find the formula. Why? So I think either one could be super helpful. Let's see if Singh is willing to get back into his lawman side and not his conspirator side.
感觉不对。
No?
我需要再思考一下。眼下只有通过这个人，才能获得。这个人。
I'm in my own head right now. Why am I losing credibility? The final breakthrough of the case. The only way to potentially obtain more evidence is through this person. To potentially obtain more evidence. Maybe the assassin then.
感觉不对。
No.
眼下，这个人。
It's a left field option, but Toby was also a contemporary of my brother and Sung Tao and Joseph. Schoolmates of Brian and Sung Tao, so he might actually have... he might know stuff. But this is in relation to both murders or Sung Tao's murder? Because he couldn't have known, no?
眼下，
Who else could we ask then?
这个人。
I Did I say Cecilia yet? Cecilia, do you want to put your grandpa on the
感
spotlight?
觉不对。
No.
眼下这个人
How about Joseph? Maybe we can make Joseph talk.
贝先生已经很久没说话了，他的情绪看起来也很糟糕。
约瑟，我可以问你一件事吗？
什么事？
这份报告和笔记，就是你从现场拿走的所有东西吗？但是，无论是报告还是笔记中，都没有提到我。
你想说什么？
哥哥留下的资料中没有提到我，与你之前说的话存在矛盾。
Contradicts what he said about I had to take these notes because your brother didn't want you finding out, right? Is that what it goes down to? Brian's intention to keep it from you? I took Brian's notebook, didn't succeed. Yeah. It's all down to that. Brian's intention to keep it from you. Didn't I say that is a really flimsy excuse?
之前你说，是哥哥让你瞒着我，但这些资料中丝毫没有提到我。我想，他应该还给你留下了别的东西。
The burnt papers, the missing pages.
Joseph, my proud son. For the honor of the Bell family, don't say anything that would disappoint me.
约瑟，遵从你的内心。
I don't believe that Joseph wasn't involved. I absolutely firmly believe. I don't think he's innocent, you know? Like, I don't think that he was just coerced by Papa Dearest to play along. He's having a moment of weakness. I want to believe his moment of weakness is because he's deep in this conspiracy and he could see that it's unraveling. I don't want to believe that he really is Brian's best friend. That had his best interests in heart and was forced by Papa to go along with something he didn't want to. Come on! Come on! Let's put Judas to the cross too!
Daddy won't get Cece the cola water.
Daddy doesn't want Cece to get hooked on drugs.
He just wants the cola water.
Said the lion, but that doesn't make me any braver. And as long as I know myself to be a coward, I shall be unhappy. Cece, why don't you go play with Uncle Wu outside the courtroom?
You killed
I'll
Uncle
join
Wu!
you after work.
吴勋部，
Oh, the other
Mafala.
Wu. How many Wus are there in this country?
仲，你的推理是正确的。
Also, Uncle Wu is an absolute cutie. Oh my goodness. After his competition now.
这张纸巾上面有波安的笔记，我随身保存至今。
It's got the coffee stains on it. We could check for the whatchamacallit.
波安为什么要将字写在这张纸上？以及他写下这些字的时候，
Promising stop the release and opium, abstinence of drugs. Taking care of Jean.
Promise me, you will stop the release of the opium cessation drugs. Take good care of John. Keep him away from all these.
哥哥，
纸巾是从沃森的办公室拿的，上面有贝尔公馆的标识。这个圆环是咖啡杯的印记，虽然时隔3年，但不妨碍重点分析。
You could still get analysis 3 years later.
必留痕迹。如果你的推理正确，至少
He really is going Edgeworth then. He really is throwing all the decisive evidence into our ring now. Jay Iscariot is good all along? What the heck?
Was I not informed about this?
if it's correct, should be able to detect.
How dare you keep this from me?
I'm sorry, Watson. This is not just for Cece. It's for myself as well. For the past 3 years, I've been burying my head in the sand like an ostrich.
Man.
I am a fucking prosecutor.
In my country, there are 400 million people, and among them, 8 million smoke opium.
Is that a portrait of Neil Patrick Harris on the wall?
These 8 million people, from the elderly to children, are all deeply immersed with opium. Their families' wealth is scattered, their lives in ruins. The severity of opium addiction and the agony of cessation make it difficult for them to quit.
Is this why you chose to research this niche field?
Niche, he
Yes,
said, with how many
sir.
victims in the millions.
Young man, you are an idealist, but you know nothing about business. In fact, opium persists not just due to addiction, but due to significant vested interests.
I.e. his own profits.
Opium trade benefits, while prohibition has no profit. If something cannot generate profits, it cannot endure for long.
All goes down to the conspiracy
Yes.
of Western business
Many people have
interests.
said that. Thanks for your time.
But I am also an idealist.
Father, are you saying that you are willing to fund Brian's research?
I believe that what I am funding is for the well-being of humanity.
Ah, see? I told you that you could persuade him.
Man, Joseph's good all along. What the
Mr.
heck?
Shen, a pleasure to work together.
Mr. Bell, Joseph, I am grateful beyond words. Oh, Mr. Bell, you're also here?
Joseph mentioned that you're not feeling well, so I came to check on you.
All 20 patients from St. Mary's experimental group showed signs of drug abuse.
No need to worry about this. As long as the dosage is controlled, there won't be any issues.
But patients voluntarily requested dose increases. I'm concerned about the drug's market release.
Did they request opium during the treatment?
No.
It indicates that the opium cessation medication you developed is effective.
It indicates that he's replacing one product out the door with a new one.
Pharmaceutical genius. The moment you've been dreaming of to defeat opium is about to arrive.
Like curing vampirism by chopping off their head.
The side effects.
Every drug has its side effects. We can
We'll just make
further
something
develop
new to
drugs
break
to help
the
people
addiction
overcome
to
these side
cocaine.
effects.
Mr. Bell, we cannot launch a drug when we know it has addictive properties.
What do you suggest?
We need to expose the dangers of cocaine. Caution the public.
Are you
They'll say
sure?
fucking prosecutor, but they won't say
Create
cocaine.
a monster with my own hands. It must not reach the public. I'll compensate your research funding.
You are always
Zoku.
an idealist, Brian.
You weren't expecting voice acting. Yeah, the voice acting, this is incredible, Zoku. Like, primarily, it takes place in China, right? And so the Chinese voice acting is, of course, expected phenomenal. But they got a diversity of voice acting, too. They have English voice acting with the diversity of accents. You got some, like, working-class Scottish-type folk, some more crusty upper types, and they all speak with appropriate accents. And there's even, like, you even have, like a bit of code switching for native Chinese speakers who speak a type of English to each other, to somebody else in Britain, but then speak differently to each other. So you got like different layers of different communication going on, and you got like English speakers speaking Chinese to different levels of proficiency. I'm honestly pretty impressed with it all. And thank you for the congrats, I'm pretty chuffed with it. Yeah, the attention to detail is amazing.
So far, nobody knows croquet. Once it is made public. Aren't you worried that the Sassoon family will turn around and develop an alternative? Even if you can convince me, can you convince them? Come, have a cup of coffee to calm down.
How soon did he know?
I heard John Shen.
Because he seemed pretty stressed when he left.
In Boston to support his studies.
How? How do you know my brother is in Boston?
He is your brother. Of course, I have to take extra care of him.
Given the time period, Zoku, it is amazing how often the truth to any given murder really does come down to, but the Westerners encroaching in the company want to make money.
Mr. Bell, are you threatening me?
I am planning a future for you and your brother. Do you want shares in Watson Group?
Oh, he's getting
it can
stock
make you
options.
Both live a life of prosperity and wealth forever.
I develop opium cessation drugs to prevent tragedies, not for wealth.
In that case, I respect your decision.
Your decision, he says, after he's already been poisoned. The bullet has been fired.
Keep a close eye on him. Make sure he gets home and never steps out again. After 5 hours, go inside and retrieve all his research files.
Clever Brian, then. That would have happened if he didn't telegram the police as soon as he got home. There have been several cases that were directly involved with opium too. Insofar as like certain suspects or victims that were suffering the effects thereof.
Why is there so much noise outside?
Sir, St. Mary Hospital is on fire.
The fire will turn everything into ashes, won't it? The night in London hasn't been this bright for a long time.
It's your property. Aren't you worried?
Turns out he was also erasing evidence this way too, wasn't he?
Everything comes with a cost.
He still has a formula either way because Joseph retrieved the notebook.
Grandpa, when can we go home?
Darling, we've got to stay here for a bit.
I'll admit I got a chuckle out of me, Gaius.
Someone once told me there's like 400 million people here, but only 8 million people. Market development rate is a real disappointment here, right?
Oh yes, kids really care about market development rates. Will Cece ever get her cola water?
No, darling, you can't drink the cola water. How about Chinese tea?
This reminds me of when I was in basic training. And we had water fountains, and they were super nasty water fountains. And one day a drill sergeant brings her daughter in, and she gets thirsty and wants to go to water. She's like, no, don't drink from that! But it's fine if we drink it.
Is there fruit juice in the tea?
Of course. And you know what? You've given me a bit of inspiration. Maybe I should chuck in some fruity flavors that kids fancy into the cola water.
And she can't have the fruity cola either. She's taunting Cece at this point.
对不起，Joe。我一度以为，波恩是想用自己的牺牲来阻止戒烟药的上市。
约瑟，这不是你的错，但贝尔先生和沃森集团必须受到相应的惩罚。
I still have so much evidence that I have not used yet. But I feel like They've already explained the entire plot.
就凭你们？
二位大人，现在有了贝尔爵士下毒的证据。
Also, I am forever in love with Dafu.
Hold, Bell. This lad seems dead set on getting the law to come down on you.
Maybe Herman's a real final
Go
boss then.
ahead and try. Arrest me.
If Watson's crimes have already been revealed by his son,
那么有恃
we
无
still have to
恐。
fight the system to get to him.
贝尔爵士的罪行已经得到了证明，难道这样还不够吗？
沈先生，据说你曾在波士顿学习法律，总不会没听过“管辖权”这个词吧？
本案的受害人是中国人，施害者在上海，上海道台怎会没有管辖权？
但贝尔爵士是大英帝国公民。
And the mixed court does tend to favor the
连
Western.
陪审团都没有，外加一群不懂法的外行，如何能让这位大英帝国的爵士获得公正
He's a
的对
knight
待？
now.
领事裁判权就是为此而存在的。
Ooh. You have like inside scoops on the accent Zoku. Cause throughout this game, I've been hearing lots of Chinese people speak Chinese and a few Westerners speak Chinese. But this man's accent seems to stick out especially, and I can't tell if it's because he's less proficient, or if he's speaking with a particular register I'm not familiar with. But they do have a lot of them, accent-wise.
权
Oh, I got new knowledge. And all the research. He's definitely speaking non-native accent. That's what I assumed. Because, like, we've had, like, other judges and lofty people speak, and they don't speak like he does. So my assumption was that he was speaking from someone who isn't exactly practice or character practice.
根据两国间的协定，英人之犯罪，只能由英国领事来裁决。
但他们明显是穿一条裤子的呀！
真不甘心就这样让他逃脱罪责，我们还能做些什么吗？
这是时事，非你我能够改
So we
变。
turn around, hire the assassin that he hired.
能看清时事，是你最大的优点。
Enough of this, Watson. Fulfill your promise to me. Stop the opium cessation drugs business.
Technically he did, it's cola water now.
Enough of this, Joseph. 3 years ago, for you, I took all the opium cessation drugs off the shelves at our pharmacy. I am a man of my word.
No, not in the form of cola water.
That's a new business.
Yes, totally unrelated.
In fact, this
It's only
remedial
0.1
measure
gram
opens
of
up a whole
cocaine.
new market for us.
Liar!
Joseph, my child, you've inherited my kindness, but business is
A
business.
bit of addiction. Ah,
You know
alright
why
then.
I come to Shanghai? The Sassoon family's opium business is doomed after the opium agreement between China and UK. There are 8 million addicts in China. All need opium cessation drugs. It's a huge market. At that time, we will surpass the Sassoons and become the most powerful family in the Far East.
But you're fully aware that cocaine is not an opium cessation drug, and it's worse than opium.
They're having this conversation right in
God,
the
you are
open.
stupid.
Public's gone, but there's guards here. The judge hears all of this.
Where there is
Journalist
demand,
hears all
there
this.
will be supply.
看来，贝尔爵士真正想做的生意并不是戒烟药，而是想用快乐水取代鸦片。
鸦片是无罪的，快乐水更是如此。他们都只
Innocent.
是商品而已。
如果他们是无罪的，为何英国政府要制定1868年的毒品药店法案？
Yeah, what then? Good enough for you, but not for
如果鸦片
us.
是无罪的，为何会有那么多人因它而亡，家庭因它而破碎？ 如果快乐水的生意是无罪的，你为何要毒害我哥哥？为何要灭口吴松涛，还有圣玛丽医院数十条无辜的生命？
凡事皆有代价，我给了你们最好的选择，只可惜你们都太过短视。
所谓最好的选择，就是用快乐水继续毒害我们吗？
你们这个国家落后又腐败，还擅长装腔作势。鸦片，几十年前你们自己就种得漫山遍野了，无数人。
Okay, but no for bringing that up.
你们的工厂、学堂，很多都是靠鸦片建起来的，这点关大人应该很清楚吧？
万国禁烟大会即将召开，我相信。
禁烟？
Can't even
你
let
们
the
真
judge
的
speak.
相信中国禁得了烟吗？
我相信。
中，你和你那可怜的哥哥一样，都是理想主义者。我对他的遭遇深感同情。
事实上，对于伯安，
我不只是同情，还非常的敬佩和感激。没有他的发明，哪有畅销寰宇的沃森快乐水？
Always think this pocketbook first.
但你要知道，人的苦难是自己选择的结果。那些吸大烟的人都是有自由意志的，难道有人逼他们吗？不，是他们自己要吸的。你的烟鬼父
Could we
亲
inject
一样
Watson with some cocaine right now to teach him firsthand what addiction means?
如果当初没有拒绝我给的股权，又怎会落得这样一个下场？
鱼儿抓口时不着急提竿，耐心等一等。大鱼上钩时会有明显的异沉。就是现在。
Brother's fishing advice was a metaphor this whole time?
事实上，你做不到嘴上说的那样心安理得。
你在笑什么？
如果你的心中没有恐惧，就不会为了隐瞒真相而杀人灭口。而我要出示的最后一件物
The
品，
last evidence
就
to
是为你的
present,
恐
huh?
惧而准备的。
What am I presenting on precisely? Last evidence to present prepared for his fear. Let's see. Top of the evidence is here. He can't be afraid of magic, that'd be silly. Don't fumble, no pressure. But if I fumble, I might get a funny game over. If anything, there's incentive to fumble around sometimes. Speaking of kicking dogs, I'm really surprised that so far I've only seen 2 opportunities to get a unique game over for blaming chickens or blaming dogs. Investigation permit given by Joseph. Joseph's signature. No, that's not it. Numerous relevant documents of the old case and a phonograph broadcasting machine. What if the last evidence that I have to present is all the evidence that he's been building up over the past 3 years? If dogs are innocent, Zoku, then why did that one dog in the second case, why did it eat the pork bun recipes that were handed to it. It colluded. It colluded with the murder of Zoku. What then? Report on cocaine. Maybe the final evidence is all the evidence. Numerous relevant documents to the old case. Yeah? Yeah? The last evidence presented. Maybe it's a cocaine report that talks about how dangerous and addictive it is and encourages, let's see, safeguard public health, societal welfare, measures to restrict cocaine use. Maybe that's what he's afraid of. Regulation of his product. I feel like it's regulation that he's afraid of. Or the evidence being every evidence. Give me every evidence.
沃森，我为你准备了2件礼物。这3年，我深度调查过我哥哥案件的所有嫌疑人，尤其是你。这个手提箱中装着与沃森集团有关的各种犯罪记录，不只是上海，还包括香港、伦敦开设沃森大药房的所有其他城市。凡有接触，必留痕迹。我知道你如何用巧取豪夺的手段收购香港大药房。我知道你如何将混有鸦片的廉价补药伪装成戒烟药，赚取第一桶金。我知道你如何勾结腐败官员，让他们对假药造成的种种恶果视而不见。
all the receipts in.
我知道你如何一次次犯罪，又一次次利用法庭脱罪。我拜访过这些事件的受害者，通过他们，我逐渐构筑出你犯罪生涯的证据链条。只剩最后一环。
There's a stray pixel on the side of the chair.
约瑟提供了最关键的证据，所有人都听到了你亲口认罪。
既然这样，不妨带上那些受害者，找个有管辖权的法庭起诉吧。我敢保证，你所谓的证据和证言都不会被接受。
所以，我还准备了另一件物品。
另一件物品是？
我发明的留声广播机。
Don't tell me. He's pulled the old have the confession broadcast to the public routine.
留声机？沈仲平，你也要像你哥哥一样，用它自杀吗？
够了，沃森。哥哥用生命保护那份资料，就是为了在今天给你敲响丧钟。你那肮脏的生意到头了。
你比你的哥哥还要天真。大烟与戒烟药的生意已经延续了半个世纪。
Only 50 years? You're older than it is then.
你们早已是东亚病夫了。
You people.
你真以为凭一个人就能改变时代吗？
不，我绝不是一个人。我曾见过一位修撰。为思想解放和文学创新而奔波于田野乡间。我曾见过一位将领，为突破炼钢技术桎梏而废寝忘食、呕心沥血。我还知道一位官员，即便没有图纸，硬是靠锤子敲出第一艘火轮船。
Yeah, but 2/3 of these so far are dead. You can't rely on them.
还有千千万万中国人，虽身处逆境，仍在努力改变时代。而鸦片。是我们国家必须面对的最紧急的问题之一。我们必须努力禁烟禁毒，以挽救自己。
先生说的对，我举双手支持。
New something unlocked? Tribute to who? I saw a tribute to someone. And there's still 1, 2, 3 more to find. Control session, international group permission, Chinese delegate, Mr. Tang Guang. I probably butchered so badly. English summary speech exceeding 8,000 words. Consumption of opium, the most urgent moral, economic issue the country must face. pretty cool. Sweet little tribute. Click. And where's the band button? Okay.
也会动员报业的朋友们一起揭露快乐水的真相。
我也是。
Man, Joseph Iscariot ends up good after all. That's the biggest disappointment for me. I wanted him and his father to go down.
尽无所能，推动禁烟禁毒之大计。还有我们。
Instead, I only get Von Karma, not Edward too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that the assassin right there at the smile on her face? And not being held down by the guard? And a gun right behind her. There's no way that Herman is going to allow this knighted British national to be tried under Chinese courts for Chinese justice. But there's an easy out right there. She wasn't there before.
有民众在会审勾践门口聚集，要求严惩凶手，清理奸商。什么？
The International Open Commission, so it's gonna be like in a couple of weeks by now. So merchandise is getting out anyway. Maybe Watson gets off with permanent exile?
现在不仅我们能听到你说话，会审公廨外面的人也都能听到。
Is he gonna be so lucky?
接下来几天的报纸头条肯定也是这件事了。很快，全世界的人都会知晓真相。
你们。
这明明是非公开审理，你们竟然偷偷对外广播！中国人就是这样亵渎规则的吗？
规则？到底是谁在亵渎规则？
Oh, he's gonna activate his full-on SAS mode, isn't he?
不敢用这种眼神看我。
你们的规则从来都有2套标准，一套给自己，一套给别人。而在我这里。 只有1条规则：如果你选择作恶，就必须付出代价。
Representation, man. This thing goes all out whenever it can.
愤怒的民众想往里冲，巡捕们快拦不住了！保护我！
贺大人贵为英国领事，下官自会拼命护您周全。但是。 如果您不能以公正执法来平息民怒，执意袒护贝尔爵士，谁也不敢保证3年前黎皇室案的惨剧不会重演。
关大人决定就好。
那本验员认为，我
now we get to be the presiding judge. Sit back, Herman.
有罪。
Solved. Pretty safe to say that's the last case solved for the game. For the base game at least. They're working on DLC, it turns out.
这样，不介意。 再迟早一起惨案。
Quickly, assassin off to the side. Now's your time to shine.
先生小心！先生
Roll credits. $1912. You gotta wait 3 more years. Where was this game when I had to do a PowerPoint presentation on Chinese history for an anthropology class? Called it. Did I not call it?
雇主先生，我所有的老板都是这个下场。
She's got a pepper box.
热售热售！3位侦探公堂大显身手，揭露沃森集团惊天阴谋。
我买一份报纸。
这报我不卖。
Do we get it for free then?
送给您了。
Hey!
您可是智斗洋人的高手。
那我就不客气了。
Anyone who's good to Athu is good in my book.
可惜阿福，你们在会审公社的表演真是精彩，
这次不仅救出了先生，
还一起抓住了幕后真凶。
I don't know about caught the evil mastermind. He got killed.
那必须要好好庆祝下。
Exposed him, perhaps.
我请客。
可先生受伤了，我得先送他回扬州休养。
沈先生他还好吗？
受了些皮外伤，没大碍，只是这次又要错过尹珠姐的表演了。
There's always DLC, Afu. We gotta solve the Shanghai Phantom mystery too. We'll be back.
祝你们一路平安。
See, I think it is her. What that magician skill to use to do a bit of corporate
费
espionage?
先生，你接下来有什么打算？
先暂停检察官的工作，全力解决快乐水的问题。
有我能帮忙的地方，你尽管说。
大产人精神，我要悄悄话对你说。Mr. Lion said he got what he wanted. Did you get a thinking brain too?
Yes.
Afu is so good with kids. I love him. He so easily plays along with the whole scarecrow bit. I'm not sure the extra legal protection would have mattered too much, Gaius, given he was assassinated by his assassin.
查封沃森大药房是大事，本官得亲自盯着，避免再生变故。
不知丁香姐怎么样了？
丁香在会审攻陷女押所，听候处断。
你们能网开一面吗？
I don't think she's gonna let her
上
sentence.
要不是丁香姐，
丁香为民除害，我本人十分佩服。但除了这个案子以外，他还身负多条人命。
放心吧，关大人会让他获得公正的审判。
细致搜查每一个角落，留意所有细节，发现任何可疑之处，立即向我报告。是，巡长。
五爷，
现在要叫李巡长啦。
文小姐见笑了。
李巡长，发生什么了？怎么又在调查洋货铺？
沃森虽已伏法，但大盗仍在逍遥法外。
DLC
巡长上
hook.
任，必将他接纳归案。
And it turns out the Phantom isn't a him at all, but a sassy cat burglar.
先生，你怎么自己就下来了？还有，你的手受伤了，不能拎箱子。
我伤的是左手，右手拎不碍事的。
我来。
好了，我就送到这里。
可心姐，我舍不得你。
我也舍不得你们。
Don't you start shipping each other. You're with Shen. You guys are boyfriends. Leave her be.
我想多写几篇报道，为大会助力。
文小姐，务必多保重。
放心，我可是资深记者，后会有期了。
对了，可心姐。
They were? I didn't notice. I was too busy
标题是什么？
enjoying the cute scene on the left.
标题还没定呢。这次的报道是与程守臣合写的，不知道他又跑哪里去了。
That guy disappeared again. Is that also going to be DLC hook? Fat Suruo achievement. Thanks for noticing names.
啊？
Oh, this is
程
Spirit
记
for all
者
that.，
你怎么在这里？
当然是来还机器的呀。
我的留声广播机。不过，如果他对程记者的工作有帮助的话，我可以把
What
它
good is
送
it
给你。
going to be if he only has one half of it, though?
你还是留着再改良改良吧。
这次多亏有守臣兄帮忙。
是你神机妙算，算准了我不会错过这个大新闻。
不，在这个事件中，你所做的贡献远比表面上看起来的要多。你们道出的那份配方，才是一切能真相大白的关键。
难道程记者就是沪上怪盗？
Is
我
he?
哪有那么大的本事啊？
Is he actually
从他
though?
观察到民众喝完快乐水后的症状，与圣玛丽医院的受试者相同，于是托人道出了快乐水的配方，来验证一个猜想。只是还没等我见到配方，松涛就遭了毒手，配方也不知所踪。我几次想进入现场寻找，却始终没机会。没想到，松涛将配方放在了你哥哥的照片后面。现在想想，这也的确是最合适的地方。
So if he's never seen it, then he's out for the Phantom.
哦，对了，差点忘了正事儿。
Let me see. I can still look at evidence, right? What time was the show? 7:30 to 8:45. So she could have burgled out the formula at some other point prior to the murder. I think she could still be a suspect for the Shanghai Phantom. She's got the skill set, I bet. If she can make cards disappear, why
看
not
来我错
formulate?
怪吴老板了。
此话怎讲？
之前调查洋货铺地窖的时候，我还以为他是个卖戒烟药的奸商。不过，当年参与过研究项目的不是程记者吗？怎么会是吴老板知道受试者的症状呢？
二位侦探，有位朋友托我捎一件东西。
这是委托信吗？
不愧是阿福兄弟。
Is it a key to the DLC?
承蒙守臣兄信任，但我打算先回扬州一趟，把案子告破的事告诉哥哥。
这个案子，我相信沈先生不会拒绝。
The fancy journalist lady? Coffee place review type lady? Again, game, I can't read. Oh, and that's it. Game is fully finished. How many endings did I miss? I assume by endings is counting all the various games over. It is. Counting all the various games over. Well, now I have to go. This is pretty much encouraging losing the case at every single step then. Since different steps of the case give different outcomes if you fail it. Almost succeeded. What opportunities would have been here? Because at some point, The very tail end, perhaps, where you gotta present all the case evidence you've been building for 3 years. Imagine floundering on that. I got one final gift for you, and you present the missing sack of rice, the fish scale in the bullet hole, the slightly moved desk instead. Right at the very end. I still say, though, that the jokiest joke endings, like accusing the chicken or accusing the dog, were best. And I'm really disappointed that they don't have more of those. That's like my one disappointment in the game, is that they didn't have those joke endings at the other cases. But otherwise, thoroughly enjoyed this game. Any achievements left undone? Only 22 of 47. What the heck? Collect all... I'm missing historical facts? I'm still missing general knowledge, but how? All endings, that's gonna take work to do. Question mark, question mark. Change card. Okay, easy one. Just haven't done the change outfit because Afu or looks cute enough. Successfully opening the bolt spring lock at the first attempt. That's a bit random though, isn't it? Because you kind of have to pick around to see which pins go up in the first place. Repeatedly choosing the guard soldier made a mistake. Investigate pass list after solving the case? Pass list after solving the case. There was an achievement for letting the record play through in its entirety. Didn't they say it's like 48 minutes long or something? Okay, for the next 48 minutes of stream, we're going to listen to the 7-star lamp. More mysteries. Ride the elevator back and forth once. I could have gone both ways. Exists an absolute blind spot 3 times. So a couple of these so far is choose the wrong option, but keep on choosing the wrong option. Oh, that's no fair. There's an achievement for failing the chemistry challenge, but not for completing it correctly. Okay, circuit, successful first try. But not chemistry, successful first try. More mysteries. Keep Wu Yanchu's secret to yourself. Didn't I technically do that? Like, I did choose a pack of cards, but he said, well, the most important thing to a magician is never revealing the secret. So I didn't technically expose what she was trying to hide. Explore all possible scenarios. Oh, I got the right answer too soon. So there was something if you fully filled out the entirety of the brainstorm. Refused to enter the memories of London Police Department 3 times. Choosing Wen Koshin when presenting the evidence on who else should the witness have seen. Quick reaction lead others struggling to keep up with my logic. Is that basically just picking the first person in the list then? Mystery, mystery. Wen Koshin repeatedly touching the cat and getting scratched. I could have done that? Mystery. I was going to do that, but the moment I found what I needed to find, it advanced the game. Thanks a lot, Afu. You're cute, but you denied me an achievement. Gosh. Afu was the best, though. I choose to believe that he and Shen end up together. So am I still missing stuff? I can't possibly be missing stuff unless I got facts and knowledge hidden behind game over. There's one lock still, at the very end. What the heck? Right, 1909 is when the commission is. Final case around September 1908, so 3 years ago. What's missing on knowledge then? Missing one final knowledge. And one final historical fact. What the heck could it possibly be? Because these have all come up as the cases and the investigations advance. It's not that we've had to hunt them down. And then one final mysterious thing. Is there a bonus thing if I go continue? No, there isn't. Autosave data, the Shanghai Enigma. Does that just drop me at the credits? At the end here.
程记者，你怎么在这里？
But I can't choose things here, so it's not like, huh. Oh well.
这次多亏有守城兄。
Okay. Back to menu then. To the home page. But I guess that means that we are done with Murders of the Yangtze River up until the DLC comes out. Which, given how much I enjoyed this game, definitely looking forward to whenever that comes. Because this game had it all right. It had interesting cases. There wasn't too much that was a bit having to hunt and peck and guess compared to others of the genre. There were a few points, and a couple I think are just because of grammatical ambiguities when translating to the English. Still a bit sore about that second case, where the language being used said, the guards came and then put up the poster. And that's not a contradiction, but they intended, the guards came here first, then put up the poster. Little bit of clarity thing, but whatevs. At least a funny game overs, and that we now found out you actually do want to game over several times to unlock the mysteries. Unlock mysteries, unlock the different endings. Maybe that is where my final two facts and knowledges are hidden. Make a completely bad guess, and they're like, Shen, you fool, that can't possibly be the case, because of this thing you didn't know. So as that is it then for this stream, what does that bring us? To find out what the next stream is going to be? It has turned out that Ghost of Tsushima has finally made its way to PC. I've been looking forward to that for a long time, but I don't think I'll stream it. It's a fairly big game, isn't it? And it turns out that 3 hours are busy hours for your pal Guinea. Not just having to take care of things around the apartment. In this whole week since moving in, I've had like one free day between having to take care of everything. Clean up after everything, buy things, assemble things, clean up after things, cook, clean the cat's ears. It has been busy, busy time. So, maybe not a big project like that for the next one, we'll see. For now, who have we got online to raid? Anybody else playing this game? Seven-star lamp on loop. I could. That's an it gets us an achievement. Strangely enough, nobody else is streaming Murders on the Yangtze River right now. Criminal. Well, I do see that Cat Batsumi is on for my follow lists, so I guess we'll go raid that direction. What's she playing today? Pools, hot tubs, and beaches for someone who plays in a VR avatar of a catbot. Someone is playing Silly Silly, isn't she? Okay. So thank you folks for hanging out. I'll see you guys whenever I see you. We'll see what the next thing is. For now, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time. Stick around for the raid. Take care.